Okay. You guys are amazing. I tried to show this on my live stream the other day. I got this in the mask. So in case of accident, my blood type is Dr. Pepper. And then, in case you're wondering why I'm kind of in this angle, let me show you what just arrived in the mail here. Hang on. I hope the camera's focusing on that. It says, if you can read this, bring me a Dr. Pepper. That's amazing. I love that. And yeah. So I've been looking for some travel plans. Let me fix the camera and let's talk about a bit of it. So first off, again, thank you everyone who keeps sending me things. It's a lot of fun. You guys spoil me rotten, and I'm eternally grateful. And you know what? You guys are a lot smarter than I am, because in my mind, if I'm going to send something to somebody, I'm going to order it, have it delivered here, then I'm going to take it, repackage it, bring it to the post office or maybe UPS, write out the address where I'm sending it and send it off. And it never dawned on me that, you know what, I can just change the address in Amazon and have them deliver it there. I've never done that. I've never thought of doing that. I don't know why I would never think of that, but I guess I'm old school, used to mailing, you know, here comes my package and mailing it out. I'm still in that old school train of thought. So yeah, you guys are much smarter than I am. Quick thing on this. I was thinking on doing a challenge video with my nephews. And I was thinking on doing like weird flavors and taste testing stuff like that. Like the jelly bean challenge, you know, with the very bad tasting jelly beans and the good tasting jelly beans, and you can't tell which one is which. And doing a challenge with them, and maybe even doing a live stream with them when we do that, just for fun. And somebody also mentioned that there's a hot gummy bear or anything like that they wanted to send me to see if I could take the heat of this gummy bear. It's supposed to be really, really hot, nitro something. I don't know, but I was thinking if you guys have anything that you would like us to try in perhaps a live stream challenge or a challenge between the three of us, or even just myself, yeah, you can go ahead and send it to. Make sure it's not a perishable item. Don't send me a pie that you baked or something like that. Has to be something that, you know, like strange Japanese chips, or, you know, something from Russia that I would never have tried, or a Swiss chocolate thing or German chocolate that seems different than chocolate you would expect. Anything like that you'd like to have us give it a try, and maybe do a live stream on it, yeah, go ahead if you want to send us something along those lines, if you can think of anything. In the meanwhile, I'm trying to think of what I can do for something like that. Okay, I am looking at some travel. In fact, I booked a cruise for myself. So I had one booked in December, and now that Alaska's going, I said, I'm going to Alaska. I love Alaska. It's my #1 destination that I travel to. So I was looking, and I'm gonna go in September. So I booked my cruise, and I made some mistakes. And that's not a good thing for a travel agent to admit, but I did. Because I was just so excited to go that I didn't remember in my head, like the ship I'm going on is the same ship that I'm doing a group cruise with next year from my Travel Cruising with Dawn channel. And so that sailing is sailing out of Vancouver. So it's it's a one-way cruise. And the cruise I booked is out of Seattle, and it's a return cruise. So you have to take that into consideration when you're thinking about which side of the cabin, like, which side of the ship do you want to be, port or starboard? And if you're doing a one-way cruise, you want the side facing the land as often as possible. It doesn't make a whole lot of difference when you're doing inside passage and things like that. In all honesty, you get good views from both sides. It's not a big deal, it's a little deal, okay? It's a little deal to do that. But if you're a stickler that you really want to be always facing land, you want to make sure you're booked on the right side. Well, I booked 150 cabins on that cruise to Alaska, and so I've tried to get everybody on the same side of the ship. And then I booked this Alaska cruise, and I put myself on that side of the ship, but it's a return cruise. And that return cruise starts different. It goes to the farthest port and comes back, where the cruise leaving for just a 7-day goes this way, starts at the closest port. So it's the opposite, right? You want to be on the opposite side of the ship. So I had my cabin all booked, and I had to call and change it. Luckily, there was a lot of cabins left because the cruise just got announced. They just said, and it's still up in the air, right? We're still waiting for President Biden to sign a signature saying that they're allowed to do this, but we expect he will. It would be like really bad PR for him to say no at this point, because it's just a temporary, just to allow cruises to start. It will help the Washington State, it will help Alaska, it'll help the cruise industry. It'll help people's jobs. So it would be very, very bad optics for him to go and say, no, you know what? I don't want to do that. So we're going to see what happens with that. But we expect him to sign. A lot of cruise ships are being sent there. But yeah, I made a mistake, but I was so excited to book this. And then I went last night and started to look at booking my hotel for this cruise. And lo and behold, I see I have to quarantine when I get to Washington State. And I said, now wait a minute. They just said there's all this new guidance from the CDC. If you've been fully vaccinated, you don't have to quarantine. Yeah, so I started looking. And there's it is so unclear in the guidance that they give you when you go to Washington State's website and when you go to the CDC's website. They contradict each other in different areas, and it just seems very, as far as I can tell, I still need to get a test, which is no problem. I'll take my COVID test. Done. But there's no way I'm quarantining for 14 days when I get there. My cruise is 7 days. I'm not going to quarantine in a hotel for 14 days and spend double the money that I would pay on my cruise to do this. So if that stands, I won't be cruising, but I don't think that makes a lot of sense because I'm not traveling if I'm not fully vaccinated. So I will be fully vaccinated. I'll have proof of fully vaccinated. I'll have a test when I get there. I don't think by September that I'll have to quarantine, but you never know. And right now the guidance is contradicting itself out there. So again, we have cases of really unclear messaging to people. We're starting up Alaska cruises. We're doing this. We're doing that. Oh, but by the way, when you get here, you got to quarantine for 14 days. And even when I looked at the hotels, right up at the top, it says, warning, when you fly into Washington State, you have to quarantine for 14 days. Yet when I go to the Washington State thing, it says they're going with the new CDC guidance. And when I go to the new CDC guidance, it doesn't really say much. You know, it says recommends. It doesn't actually say you have to do things. It just says we recommend you do these things. Again, unclear messaging, which is what we have in Canada completely. And I guess you guys have it just as unclear a lot of times in the United States. So I'm really excited to be able to travel again. I just wish things were a lot clearer in the messaging on what you have to do to currently travel. Because if you're allowing travel, then it should be clear and precise messaging on how to do it. If you're not allowing travel at all, then that's one thing. But if you have travel and you're allowing travel, and especially that we're looking at like 8 ships getting ready to start now, out of the state of Washington to go to Alaska. That's a lot of ships. That's almost back to normal cruising levels in a way. So, yeah, I think they need to clear things up. But yeah, I'm a little excited. I'm excited for my socks. I'm excited for my mask. And I'm really excited to go on a cruise. And I can't wait to do it. I'm also a little curious to see if anyone out there is gonna send some really strange food for us to try. Because I think people out there have a much better imagination than I do. I may very, very regret putting this out there.